Victoria today has recorded its highest daily amount of coronavirus cases since the second wave. It comes as the government prepares to outline a roadmap for eased restrictions. Julia Bradley joins us live from Melbourne. Julia, do we know how many are mystery cases, and do we have an official time for this news conference? What's the expectation as to when we'll be hearing from the Premier? I know a lot of our viewers are hanging on this one.
Well, Ash, 120 new local COVID cases have been recorded in Victoria. We know that 64 of them are linked to known outbreaks, leaving 56 mystery cases. We don't know how many of these were infectious while in the community just yet. When it comes to that COVID press conference that everyone is eagerly awaiting, we're told it could be called any moment now as the government continues talks this morning about this roadmap that they're set to announce. It's going to be a modest easing of restrictions. It's all about Victoria coming up with that COVID threshold, COVID cases that they know that they can deal with, because as we know, that target of COVID zero is becoming increasingly difficult. That target that Premier Daniel Andrews has long been chasing. We are under the understanding that schools are going to have to remain closed despite today's modest easing of restrictions. The controversial playground ban, though, Ash, we are expecting that to end from Friday. That 5-kilometre travel limit could also be increased to 10 kilometres, and the curfew as well is expected to remain in place. There's a possibility that families across separate households could be able to catch up under a family bubble. Also that we could see more freedoms for people in regional Victoria ahead of Melbourne. We've heard from Melbourne's Mayor Sally Capp this morning, and she said while this could provide a light at the end of the tunnel, our businesses also need a level of certainty.
Speaking with families, of course, everybody wants to be able to have a bit more freedom outside, including being able to access outdoor exercise equipment and children's playgrounds. But for our small business owners, if it's not that we're opening tomorrow, that's understandable. But can there be some clarity on what the steps look like to reopening?
And Julia, when that news conference with the Victorian Premier does get underway shortly, it is expected, isn't it, that the government will give us a bit more detail, a bit more information about exactly how it's planning to prioritise vaccines for Year 12 students in the state?
That's right, Ash. We heard more than a week ago that Victoria's government were planning to prioritise Year 12 students for vaccinations ahead of their VC exams in early October, but we were never told how they plan to do that. Daniel Andrews, our Premier in Victoria, yesterday flagging that they will have an announcement on that today. There'll be some sort of scheme announced as to what that looks like. We'll have to wait and see. There's a chance that we could see Year 12 students be given priority in the form of priority lines at some of our state vaccination hubs. Also, in order to really ramp up vaccinations in Victoria, the government have said that they are going to start rolling out mobile vaccination vans into some of the areas that have the lowest vaccination rates. Ash.
Julia, appreciate the update, and we're keeping a very close eye on those news alerts coming through to us to let us know when the Victorian Premier will jump up and speak to the people of his state.